Good evening. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and thank you for supporting my channel. We are actually on this project for now 1 month. 1 month. This channel was created 12 years, 10 years ago, and now we are 4 weeks, 1 month into this program. We are improving by the day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for everyone who has given feedback, and also thank you for the opportunity to do this project. And this channel is about freedom of speech, and we have defined freedom of speech as ability to do something. Because they say action speak louder than word. So if you're doing something, you're actually speaking. If you have the freedom to do anything, your action is actually speaking. We normally restrict speaking to verbal communication, but even what you wear is speaking. So you're eating food, you're thinking, you're reading, you're playing, you know, you're working, you're doing charity. Everything you do, if you're playing, if you're having friends around, giving gift, that is freedom of speech. Because your actions speak louder than word. See, it's like body talk. If you talk, you can talk with body language. So, so that is really good. And this channel is about freedom and speaking, ability to speak in any way, whatever way you do, is taking action to do what you need to do, because you only live once. You are a human being. The greatest statement about real life is growing old. Growing old is actually to say, unless some brilliant scientist is going to come up with brilliant medicine to cure aging. I saw it on at the BBC about there's a program called Click at the BBC here in the UK. A BBC is actually British Broadcasting Corporation. In case you don't know what it is, it's a media. It's one of the biggest medias in the world, media outlet, television, radio. So there's a program called Click about technology, latest technology and discoveries. There is a prospect that there's going to be a discovery to uh, slow down aging. Slowing down aging, people will, if that succeeds as a form of treatment for aging, people growing old, you slow it down, you can stop it, you can also reverse it. It could become a medicine maybe in 100, 200, 1,000, 200,000 years, who knows? Could be closer, could be further. Because there are researchers now trying to look into that to see if it can be done. So, it is important to participate, to take part. And taking part has been really important for me. We have a lot to do on this channel. We need to improve on the lighting. We need to improve on the sound. We need to improve on the equipment. We are actually 1 month into this project. We started off with the cost of living, and I've been trying to look at different perspectives. There in the UK we have help from the government, which ultimately I'll be concentrating on actually looking at specific help. But before that, I decided to also look at the background information, other issues which may look as if they are not related to the cost of living that they are. If you have watched the other videos, I've been talking about poverty generally, and I'm talking about wealth. We are talking about society, the society we live in, people who are poor, people who are rich. And And I've also said that we are now going toward an economic direction where everybody should be rich. If you don't get rich quickly, you are going to be facing a lot of trouble. Things are going to get worse in terms of access to food, medicine, um, energy, housing, employment. These are actually economic issues, social policy issues, which are actually related to the cost of living. The reason there is a cost of living because the government failed to provide the public sector. The public sector has been closed down. The what remains now is a residue, and they're closing it down. In 100 years, you will not see a private sector. In maybe beginning now, you're going to see less and less of the public sector because the policy is now switched off. Somebody decided it has to be shut down because that is the only source of providing access to livelihood to poor people who are actually between 80 and 90% of the population. If you work for a living, you're poor. A lot of poor people don't want to be facing the real world, but that is what it is. If you are working for a living, it doesn't matter how much money you earn. If you have to work to earn a living, you are poor. You may not feel it because you still have a job. You may not realize it because probably you're living in a really nice property. You're buying probably. Maybe you have also bought your house cash. But a lot of people are buying their houses by borrowing money. It's called mortgaging. And the same, because I also spoke about globalization. Globalization is actually making things bigger. All the countries, if you have a country, right now, you no longer have a country. It's like the public sector, really. You still see the public sector, but it's gone. It's no longer there. The public sector is no longer there. You also see your country now, but your country is no longer there. It's gone because of globalization. Your public sector went because of privatization. Your country is gone because of globalization. Leave a comment below and let me know if privatization is good or if globalization is good or bad. Good or bad is the real world. So people have to adjust to it. There is not going to be anything else. There is not going to be public sector. It is dead and buried. We are just trying to tidy up society to prepare for the new world order, which is actually the private system and the global system. This is actually relevant with the cost of living because there is a lot of crisis now. From now on, there's going to be a lot of crisis. A lot of sacrifices are going to be made. If it means for people to be left to die, it is going to be necessary to promote the market, the private sector, to promote globalization. That has to happen. And those who are actually driving the market economy, those who are driving globalization, are going to stop at nothing. Whatever it takes to achieve, they're just tidying up because globalization is now complete. Okay? So they are now the state, which is actually dead. Because globalization is now, as soon as we get technology to run the world, that is going to be the end of the state. The state is going to shut down. Remember, the state is part of the public sector. The state is part of nationalism. Nationalism is the opposite of globalization. You can call it globalism, but some people may or may not agree that they are the same. But these are a matter of semantics. They're just pictures or words or whatever they are. But the globe is the globe. The world is becoming one place. There's going to be one country, not even continent. Forget about continents. Some people drew this map for continents and countries. They also decide either the same rulers, the ruling class, the upper class decided they did make decision for us, for everyone. And that's the way life is. And we are either happy with what they're doing or not. The technology is exciting. Technology is going to produce wealth, among other things. They're going to produce wealth because society is about wealth. It's about everything is about life. Wealth is there for people and other forms of life. That's what wealth are for. And because we eat vegetables and fruits, we also eat meat. So animals are there for our sustenance. We need food. We grow food now, but through nature. Maybe in future, because we are now talking about synthetic products like soil. The soil we now use to grow things like lettuces, spinach. They're there. It's white. It looks white. I saw it on the television. It's white like ice. It looks like ice soil, synthetic soil, artificial soil. If we can make soil now, we can make almost anything. So maybe in the future, I don't want to go there because this is actually like science fiction, but technology is here. Maybe one day we will make many things without having to rely on nature. I don't know, but one way or the other, nature is going to be there because whatever we make, we get it from nature. So when people go onto the street to demonstrate, they call themselves Extinction Rebellion. They go on the street and demonstrating to actually trying to protect the environment, animals, trees. These demonstrators, these are actually environmental activists. People who love nature are really intense. They are so intense that some of them are also extreme because they can actually kill a human being for abusing nature, for abusing animals. They love animals more than people. They love trees. They love fruits and vegetables. So much that some people are now calling themselves vegans. They don't eat meat, anything associated with meat, with animals or things like milk. Probably I don't think they even drink milk. They're vegans. They eat things to do with fruits. Maybe they eat fruits, vegetables, and things like that. They don't eat meat-related products. They don't really. I don't think they drink milk also. Let me know below. Make a comment to let me know if you know anything about veganism. We some of them are actually vegetarians. I know more about vegetarians because that's straightforward. They don't eat meat. They probably drink milk. They probably eat cheese. But vegans, I think, if I'm right, leave a comment below and let me know. They don't eat any product associated with animals. Now, if they love nature to that extent that they don't want to really kill any animal, they don't want to really anything to do with animal skin, these animal activists, they really love nature, and that's a good thing. Except where do you draw the line? Because are you going to love people as well? The way some people behave, especially young people, probably also children, people start learning about, their toys. Their toys are actually teddy bears. And if you see cartoon programs, I'm talking about culture. Cartoon program, you see children program actually. You see animals are the characters, trees, nature is the character. Children love nature more. We're living among the generation. If you take a picture of a cat, of a dog, and people will be so excited. Oh, this is so cute. Da, da, da. We used to actually the cartoon program used to have human characters. Now we are having actually animals, carrots, oranges. These are actually, they are made to speak, to be like humans. So the love for nature is really growing. People are so in love with nature. Sometimes people love nature so much so that they almost forget about humans. Because normally we are supposed to love people first. I'm talking about culture, how we learn, how we think, how we shape our beliefs and values. And this is also going global. Anyway, I discussed it in the other videos. If you're going to watch videos, we have 4 parts. This is probably the going to be the fifth part because the same series. So try and watch all of them to make connection. So I'm just trying to look at different angles. So yeah, we really like nature, and that is fantastic. People like rivers, water. I mean, people love water. It's like, maybe I'm not thinking, maybe one day they're going to stop drinking water because of the love. They just don't want to hurt it. People love, some people, I'm not saying everyone, they don't want to hurt water. They're not going to bathe using water. I don't know what they're going to drink. They probably stop drinking water. Hopefully, they're going to drink something else instead of water. I don't know how much they're going to express their feelings for nature. And vegetables, fruit. And if fruit is your best friend, if you grew up looking at cartoon characters being fruit, carrots, and vegetables, your best friends. You grew up with them. You love them. And people develop a mindset of passion, of love about nature. People may really find it hard to. They're finding it hard now to eat meat because of their love for animals. Some children went to Africa, where I come from, and they learned where food comes from. Chicken. They saw the way they like chicken in this country. When some children went to Africa for the first time, and they actually saw people chasing chicken. They thought chicken were actually pets, and goats and cows. Some children in this country do not know where food comes from. Even carrots are like they're cartoon characters. They are not food. They're not actually. If you ask our people in this country, in Britain, in the developed country, what is land? They don't know what land is. Some people will go to the dictionary and look at the definition of land, and it doesn't make sense. But in other parts of Africa where you people have land, they know they grow food on the land, they get water, everything, like animals, the food, the drinks, the medicine also come from land, herbs, national herbs, buildings, you build schools. You'll use the land, the value of land. In this country, if you change the news on, if you put on the news today, you're not going to hear any news about land. And the issue of land ownership, I think less than 10% of the British people own land. And we don't even know who they are. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But if you try to search even online, the information online, you no longer see it. It's so difficult, even if you go to the library, to find out who really owns the land in this country. It's so hard to find. And land is the most important asset. We don't know anything about it. And it's like, if you start talking about land, it's so totally relevant. But, everything comes from there. And those who now beginning to love nature are begin to wake up to the reality that, after all, nature, including land, is really important. And if we had land, maybe we would still have the cost of living crisis. Maybe we would know how to grow our own food. Maybe we would know how to forage for food. And we maybe were using firewood to warm ourselves. Maybe we would be having the knowledge and the capacity to build our own self-builds. We'll be knowing how to build our homes. But we have lost these skills, because we live under a state, under the law, under government policy. They tell us what to do, and we as a people, in terms of cultural, economy, we are lost. And now that the government is closing down because of the public sector closing down, because of the growth of the private economy, and because of the growth of technology, we are changing. But the good news about technology is going to create wealth for everyone. That's my prediction. Leave a comment below what you think about technology. Is it going to liberate us from poverty? I think it is, yes. In the next 5 to 10 years, there will be more and more and more wealth. We are not going to talk about wealth anymore, poverty. We're not going. We are going as technology improves, especially agricultural technology, and all facets. Medical technology, transportation, name it, communication. It's going to be really good. Life is going to be really, really good with technology. What might not occur is actually peace. We may not find peace if we are rich because our culture. If we begin to put people first as a cultural people, because culture means people first. That's what the meaning of culture. It doesn't mean anything else. It means people come before things. Things are for people. People are not for things. Even money and wealth and food. Food is not for people are not for food, but food are for people. The reason we have food is because we want to look after people. And this message goes to the super rich, who are actually the few. And it also goes to the many, who are actually the poor who are the many. We are all the same. We have a responsibility to start building our culture towards actually beginning to build peace in the world. And that's why I'm beginning to look at different perspectives. We used to have the welfare state, which acts as the provider of the cost of living solutions. That's as an example. The cost of living is a crisis. There's always been the cost of living. People buy food, people buy medicine, people buy all sorts of things. It costs money. Life costs money because we things we need, we buy. That's the meaning of economics. Because you need a goods and service, you buy it. That is the economic activity, which is brilliant. But we are now coming in a situation where these things are changing. We are the welfare state as a development package, but it also is a cultural economy, as it was, because it was there, the welfare state, which is actually public sector, was there to create to provide for those who cannot provide for themselves, including employees who self-employed, small and medium, people who are poor. If you're not a millionaire, you're poor. Simple as that. Let us cut the long story short. So now the welfare state and the state is closing down. So we are going to have individuals. So we are going to have something called welfare individual. We're coming from welfare state, which is actually the public sector. Public sector has closed down. We have the private sector. So we're going to have private welfare state. Private welfare private, if you want. Because the state is going with the public sector. We're not going to have state, because you heard the government saying we the conservatives, especially conservatism, including New Labour and maybe the Liberal Democrats in the UK. And what happened in the UK happens all over the world because of the global system, because of globalization. Happens in Africa. Maybe slightly different, but it's the same. Because we are actually privatizing the economy. We are building infrastructure, trains, railways, motorway, big flyovers. We are building big mansions, hotels, national parks, zoos, beaches, seafront property, luxury apartment. There is going to be a lot of wealth in the world to do with technology, to do with the market economy. That is what they are there to do, create wealth. And let's go for it. If you are poor, just forget about the past. Forget about the public sector. Forget about the state. Forget about the welfare state is gone. What is left, use it. If it's still there, use it to actually climb out of poverty into the affluent society. But don't worry too much about poverty because technology is going to sort it out. As soon as technology comes, nobody is going to be poor. And that's going to be the end of the economic age. We have dealt with politics. There's no more politics. Because we have shut down the public sector, which is actually the household of political engagement. Vote. Vote for the residue. Voting is actually go and do some exercise. Have fun. It's like going to have go and vote and go and if you drink, go to a bar and drink some alcohol. If you take drugs, don't ask me. Go and ask the police if you're in the UK. Don't ask me if you take drugs like cocaine, marijuana, or whatever. If you want to smoke drug, go to the police station and ask them, can I take some drugs, please? Don't ask me. But if you want to ask me, I don't drink, I don't take drug, I don't smoke. But I will say, if you're going out to vote, and as soon as you finish voting, go with your friends and maybe family. Afterwards, go and have a good time. Have a party. If there's a World Cup, enjoy it. Because politics is no longer there. What we have left is actually a residue. I mean, street is a fun day out. If you're going to vote for locally, local council, nationally, be my guest. Go and enjoy yourself. Don't complain too much about many things. It doesn't help. Get on with your life. If there is help, if you have to go to, because that is also help from the government with the cost of living. If you have to go to the town hall and live there during winter, that is what the kind of help the government is giving. Go there. Shut your home. Shut down the eating and all these things. You shut your home down and save your energy, save your money. Go and live in the library, public library. That's what the government said. It is online. It's in the internet. Household support is one of them. All these things I'll be speaking about it specifically. They are there, but they are so difficult to get. Some of them are less difficult to get. There's food bank. Food bank is actually where they give free food for people in Britain. People who cannot afford food. Get a voucher, food voucher, and go there. And, go to organization which can help. And do that if you can. If you are actually working, just work as hard as you can. If you want to do 3 or 4 or 5 jobs, if your body can do that, do it. Save your money. Look after your income. Stay out of debt if you can. If you have nice clothes, clean them, wear them. If you want to buy a new one, buy them. If you're buying a car, try to buy it on credit. Why should you waste your cash or your money? You pay for the car on finance every month. If the finance company can give it, and that's fine if you're working. You're most likely to get car finance. If you're not in debt, you're most likely to get it. If you're in debt, you can probably still get it. It's a case of really asking. If there's no car, use the bus, train. If you're in a developed world, there are public transport. The public transport are closing down in maybe 100 years, 50 years. It's getting less and less and less as we go into the future because the public sector has closed down. There will be better transport with technology, which is going to be free. Because technology will be producing goods and services for free. So if you're poor, suffer for a few years, maybe 10 years, 20, 30, 40. Your children can suffer a little bit and waiting for technology. It might not be as bad as I am trying to make it to look, but the public sector is gone. That is it. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. The state is closing down. So we are going to have society, family. We're going to have individuals. So we have welfare state. Let us now think about welfare individuals, meaning that As an individual, you are going to provide for your welfare. Welfare individual. From welfare state to welfare individual. You're going to provide your own welfare individual, welfare family. We used to do that in Africa. African families used, even now probably, but in the past more, families used to provide welfare. Nobody's left behind. That welfare is going to be here. But let us adapt that culturally, new cultural economy. These are my terminology, I own them. I don't think anybody is using it. I'm proud of it. New cultural economy or new developmental economy, new global economy. I saw that being used by the BBC somewhere. New global economy. That's okay. But if you say developmental economy, that is mine. If you say cultural economy, that is mine. If you say the new developmental economy, that is mine. If you say the new cultural economy, that is mine. So either I'm a genius or a complete lunatic. Lunatic means somebody who is like insane, is mad. Say, leave a comment below, but be polite and nice about whether you're going to criticize me or say nice thing. Be nice anyway. But listen to what I'm saying, because I have paid a lot of attention in this, and I've been listening to government. Don't think I'm talking. I'm trying to make it in a normal way, not really in a formal way. Because people, if you want to speak formally about these issues, go to the BBC, go to the formal media. This is social media. So I'm trying to make it as informal as I can. But I've been paying a lot of attention to what the government has been saying. The government says we want small state. This is over and over. We want small state. We want to give back your country. We are leveling up. We are building back better. We are trying to leveling up. They have been saying this. And all those means privatization. It means nothing else, privatization. Because the thing preventing privatization is the state. The state is promoting nationalization. That's why the state is being associated with socialism, and the market is being associated with capitalism, and capitalism is being associated by conservatism with a small c, with the Conservative Party in the UK, with the Republican in America, and other conservatives in Europe and across the globe. These are actually parties of the rich, by the rich, for the rich. It's democracy in a conservative way. Socialists are pro-state. That's why you get state schools. State schools are a typical example. Anything to do with the state is socialist. And socialists are actually considered to be very backward by the capitalists. Capitalists think they're superior. And most of them are rich. Most socialists, capitalists are actually multi-billionaire. Multi. I mean, you can always smell a capitalist from a distance. They move in private jets. They live in mansions. They don't really even think about money. They just so rich, billionaires, millionaires. And there are. I mean, I would rather be at the home. I mean, a sweeper in the home of a billionaire. You don't know. You might find maybe £1 million pound on the compound, and then somebody has dropped £1 million on the compound. You're sweeping the compound. You find £1 million fallen on the ground. You take it to your boss. I found money. On your compound, £1 million. Oh, these children are really, really stupid. How can they drop money just like that? You never know. You might say, okay, keep it. They may say keep it. They may take it back. Oh, that is just, just stay. You are better off staying where wealth is, because you never know. You may rub on. You may get a thing or two. How do people, if you live in in an environment, there is hope. One day maybe you are going to be rich. There is hope. Yeah, if you are a cleaner and a rich man or a rich man woman, I mean that is a privilege. And it's happening now. Some people are drivers and they're doing well. I mean, a rich man, if you're driving for a rich man or a woman or you're cleaning their home, if you find them in a good mood, they can give you an envelope with £50,000 in it. It's a gift, present. I'm not saying it's going to happen. If you're going to work for rich people, just pray that they even hire you. And rich people are very suspicious of poor people because so poor people can be very sneaky. At least in the eyes of the rich. Especially if you are in Europe, if you are black, I'm not saying they're racist. They're just afraid of black people. And I'm sure if white people are a minority in Africa, I think white people, black people are also suspicious of white people. And if you live in Europe as a minority, you're black. You go into a shop, everybody is looking where you. What is he doing? When Boris Johnson called the British Prime Minister, when the British Prime Minister called COVID-19, he was still Prime Minister. When he came out of the hospital, he stood before number 10, which is the State House in Britain. He stood before the State House as in the governing sense, not in the presidential sense. I mean, the Prime Minister is the head of state. He is the head of government. But the power he has is enough for us to actually treat him as the head of state. Because he has the executive power. He rules this country, he or she, the Prime Minister, as executive power, which means he is actually head of the government. The government is the most powerful instrument in the UK. And Boris Johnson, Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, came and stood in front of number 10, number 10, in front of a camera with the press, and he made a speech standing in something called a lectern. Something. There's a kind of like a kind of stand where more important people make speeches from there, from number 10, from wherever. He stood there and said many things, but he described what he thinks COVID-19 was or is. I'm going to say this to you. I heard that news, I saw it. He said, among everything, he was trying to actually describe to people what COVID-19 is. He said, COVID-19 is a mugger. He said many things, but I only remember that. He said, COVID-19 is a mugger. A mugger means a thief. Somebody who robs people is a mugger. In the UK, they call it mugger. Now, that stuck into my head. Because in the UK, if somebody say somebody is a mugger, especially me, when I heard the word mugger, which means a robber, a thief, the first thing that came to me was a black man. In the UK on the street, a black man. Because, it's just my mindset. Because I associate that word with black people. Black muggers, black muggers, black muggers. If you meet somebody who is trying to be nice to you, if he's going to insult you, especially a white man or woman, black mugger. Young black mugger. Young black mugger. And this thing is in my head. And when the Prime Minister said, the COVID-19 is a mugger, I said to myself, what is the Prime Minister saying? Is he saying COVID-19 is a black man? We thought this thing came from China. And what kind of racism is that? But I remember, this is me. Because I have associated the word mugger with black people. People are suspicious. If you get elderly people walking on the street, they see a black man on the street. The black man walking this way, an elderly woman, or also just an ordinary woman, or just an ordinary person on the street, including black people. Black people fear black people because they think they're thieves. Black people like me, I would rather be around a white person than around a black person. I'm not joking. If I see a black man, a young black man, it is in my head that he is a mugger. He's going to mug me. I know they are not. Black people are normal. They're just like white men and women. They are normal people. They're not muggers. But somehow, this idea got into my head. And as I walk on the street, I have to really behave more. I have to pay attention how I behave so that people shouldn't think I'm a mugger. Women should not run away from me. Men should not run away from me thinking I'm going to mug them. So I try. I try my best. Maybe they're not thinking like that. Maybe they are. Leave a comment below if you're a black person, if you're a white person. What do you think about black men? Not even, they don't think that kind of thing about black women at all. Young black man. Maybe if you're older, they don't think you're a mugger. But the Prime Minister say COVID-19 is a mugger. You see, this thing is black men, young black men. But that was not what he was saying. And sometimes we become one thing or another. And I tell you, and we have to look after ourselves as individuals. We have to look after our cultural roots and values. We need to change. We need to stop being socialist. See, socialists are actually associated with poverty, with the state, with dictatorship. You see, when you talk of liberalism, you talk of freedom, you are a capitalist. Whether that is true or not, I don't know. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Do you think socialism is dictatorship and capitalism is democracy? What do you really think? What is democracy? Do you think is freedom? What kind of freedom is it? Leave a comment below. Let us know about the world has changed. We have shifted from socialism to capitalism. And the government have been telling us, including New Labour, but mainly the conservatives, mainly the conservatives on the extreme right wing. I have explained what right wing is. I've explained what left wing is, what the middle ground of political spectrum is in the other videos. It means your ideological standpoint politically. The people who are actually, they're called right wing. These are actually capitalists. They are mainly conservatives in the UK. They are conservatism in the world. They are rich. They're super rich. They're very powerful. Most of them are in government. The Conservatives have ruled the UK more than the Labour Party. Conservative Party. In America also, the Republican of Donald Trump or George W. Bush. They have ruled America more. The conservatives of the world have been more rulers than the socialists. Socialists are always poor. They are poor. There may be many. That's why they are called socialist society. That's what we have. That is what we see now coming with the cost of living. What caused it? What caused it fundamentally was change. Change from public to private. From socialism to capitalism. From the nationalism to marketization. To globalization. Globalization is going to intensify because there is no longer politics. Politics has ended. Now we do business. We sell and buy. Vote if you must. Because it helps. I don't know how, but it still helps. There is still traces of public sector. There are still traces of politics, but it is gone in substance. What we see is what remains, the residue is fading away as we go forward, as we move into the future. The state is disappearing. The conservative, especially the right-wing conservative, have been saying, we want smaller government, which means smaller and smaller and smaller and dead. That is government, is the state. We don't want the state. We want freedom. Because the state is actually dictatorship is forcing us I mean, if you want to be free, just get rid of the state. And that's what has happened when we privatize the country, which is what we have done. If you privatize the economy, you have actually shut down the country for the many, but you have opened up opportunity for the few. So the many now, the many who are excluded under capitalism, should now start thinking how to make money, how to create wealth. How you're going to do that is up to you, because you are free now. Theoretically, you're free. You're free to go. The state has released you. They have set you free. Say, David Cameron, former British Prime Minister, was a conservative. When he was campaigning, I think in 2016, he said in public that we are giving back your country. We don't want nanny state. They don't want babysitters. You are adults. You're free. You're grown. You don't need handouts. You see, we don't know red tapes means like red tapes. Somebody is trying to oppress you. You're free. So they don't regulate the private companies anymore, because they are free from the state. It's about freedom. It's about liberty. It's like a newborn bird or baby learning to walk, a bird learning to fly, or even an aeroplane flying free. You're free. The public sector is down, it's closed. Socialism is dead. Capitalism lives for the few and not for the many. So what happened to the many? Get wealth. Look after yourself. Nobody is looking for yourself. I mean, you don't have a nanny anymore. The state is gone. We have globalization. We have capitalism. Globalization is actually capitalism at the global scale. That's what I've been talking about. That is already related to the cost of living, because the cost of living is available, and people are actually feeling it, and it's not going to go away. It will get worse and worse and worse until wealth. Two things are capable of, perhaps three, but two fundamentally. The first is technology. It's going to create wealth, more wealth, and people will access it freely, because it will produce wealth freely. That may be within the next 30 or 50 years or 100 years. Between now and then, we don't know exactly, because the change has occurred. We are not going to know what is going to happen, and there's going to be uncertainty. People will be losing their jobs. Some people are going to be gaining employment. People are now trying to retrain, acquire new skills. And you need to know what you need to do if you're on your own and you're free. Everybody has been wanting freedom. We call each other's our neighbors strangers, because we're individuals. We practice individualism. What is good for me is not necessarily good for me, for you. I do what I want, when I want to do what I want, if I want to, however I want to do it, and it's none of your business. Then now, suddenly you are on your own, you're happy, or you're sad. Leave a comment below and let me know how you feel. But one way or the other, you have to think now differently. You have to change the way you think about wealth. Create one for yourself, number one. Number two, create a new set of ideology. The way you think, the way you believe. Change the way you think. Look after yourself. Love yourself. But there's one other thing. Love people also. Because people might help you, including the rich, including the poor. If one or two poor people come together, they're going to be stronger. There is strength in number. And when you are poor, when you are on your own, the state is gone. It's time for individuals now to be strong on their own. It's time for individuals to be strong with a friend, a family, with neighbors, with communities. So we are going to get something like, instead of a welfare state, We are going to have welfare individuals. We are going to have welfare family. We are going to have welfare friends. We are going to have welfare communities. So the communities will come together if they will. Individuals will stand alone and fend for themselves as men and women and develop welfare. I mean, welfare means food, it means water, it means shelter, where you're going to live, your house, your home. That is what it is. You see, that is what I am trying to bring now for you in terms of globalization, because in terms of the cost of living, this is connected. And the core of it, because the state is dead, what lives is individualism. What lives is capitalism. What lives is marketization. What lives is globalization. The new world order, the global village, the global society, world without borders. You know, different people are coming as one family. What could possibly go wrong? People want to live. I've always wanted to live together. There is no more boundaries, and then this is coming. Between now and the future, you will have no one citizenship, global citizenship. If you are going to have a passport or no passport, that is your problem. That is the problem, not of the state. The state is gone. And we are going to have individuals running their lives, their individual empires. If they like you, they're going to give you some food if you're poor. They're going to give you some medicine if you're sick, even poor. They're going to give you housing if you are homeless and poor. If you are jobless and poor, they might give you a job to clean their homes, to cook for them, to drive for them. But they are going to be driverless car with artificial intelligence. They are going to be nanotechnology. There's going to be 3D printers. There's going to be robotics. There's going to be different things, autonomous vehicles, and the world is going to be our oysters. It's going to be wonderful, and let us learn to survive this. Because what we see now is a shock produced by changes. The government has made radical changes to prepare us for the future. My speaking here is to actually awaken us with this channel so that we understand what has become of our society. We cannot now go in the past. We cannot really cry wolf. That is not going to happen. We have to look forward. Look after yourself. Get money if you can. Work as hard as you can. If you have a job, look after your job, because you're not going to have it for so long. You may have your job and retire in a job. Maybe your children will. Maybe your grandchildren will. I don't know. But there's going to be less and less employment. There's going to be less and less small and medium businesses. There's going to be more and more big corporations. This means the wealthy people are going to be dominant. And then ultimately, they are all going to close down because technology is going to take over to run society. That's when freedom will come in terms of wealth. But there is what I call the cultural economy, the new cultural economy. Because if people are wealthy, it doesn't mean they're going to be peaceful. What it means, actually, is that they might start fighting again. And that's going to be another problem. That's why we have to, as we get richer as a society, we have to now pay attention to our culture, which is what I call the new cultural economy. Let us begin to change and look at the human equivalence of progress and become people who are respectful, who respect people, who value humans, who value self and others, who respect boundaries. And this is actually going to be the challenge for bringing us together, to giving us health, to providing wealth even more, and actually to teach us to be as individuals and also as friends and family, as people who love themselves and also love fellow humans, and people who are actually happy, people who are actually strong, people who stand alone, who can stand together as well and be powerful, because they will have wealth, they will have health, they will have, love, they will have happiness, they will live in harmony. That's what globalization is. World without borders, living in harmony, pursuing peace, and being happy. Because the ultimate goal is actually peace, and peace brings happiness. Shall we do that? Leave a comment below if you think humans will make it. I think we will. I think we will. I think we will suffer. Many people will die. Many people will suffer. I think we will also even come to a stage where we will begin to stop aging. We can slow it down. We can stop it. We can reverse it. Maybe we can even raise the dead from the dead. We can raise people from the dead with technology. Who knows? Sky is the limit. And for those who are actually Christians, God is the ultimate answer. Thank you for watching this video. And thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, if you watch this video to this end, I'm more than happy. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends. Leave a comment below. The feedback is important. Every day, every time, I'll be talking about the cost of living in different ways. If you like it, let me know. Click like on my video if you like what I'm talking about. If you don't click dislike, please. But you're free to do it. And it's better if you click dislike. I haven't seen dislike yet. I've seen less likes even. But there are some likes, which is what I like. Leave a comment. If it's negative or positive, I prefer positive comments. If it is negative comment, then be objective and constructive. Because I want to improve the video. I want to improve the channel. I want to improve the information. I think the discussion, if you call this a discussion, that is fine. But I think I'm talking to this camera, I'm talking to myself. I expect coming forward, we are 4 weeks, we are actually 1 month old. Going forward, we are going to take some things away, bring something in, and but for now, I'm determined to carry on because I have a lot to say, and it is my choice. If it is your choice also to join me, a lot of good feedback, and it's really helping me. One of the things some people are concerned about the length of the video. They're saying it's too long, but some videos are going to be long. I just have to be clear. Some are going to be short. Some people are actually giving me feedback that I should have a bullet point and go straight to the point and talk. No discussion, no. But I'm going to do that. A lot of that. I'm going to write a bullet point and or what you call script, and go by the script and go just tang 10 minutes or 8 minutes. We're going to do that, and we have tried to do that in the other videos already. So timing is going to be, some videos are going to be short. We're actually doing something called shorts, which are actually really brief. They're there on my channel. They're very brief materials, and they're there in terms of length. But I promise, a lot of videos are going to be short. A lot of presentation is going to be bullet pointed. You go straight, plum, start to finish, and move away. That's going to happen, especially with the kind of help the government giving now. Specific help the government is giving now in the UK. And I already said that whatever help is given in the UK, pay attention to it if you're in Europe, if you're in the Western world, in America, if you're in Africa, because of globalization. That's why I chose the topic of globalization. I'm going to be talking about it for the next few days. And there are certain material I will be looking at it in certain ways. Leave a comment what you think is right, and if you think it can be improved. If you have time, watch the video as much as, please subscribe. I want you to subscribe because it helps my channel to grow. If my channel grow, more people will come. because we will gain visibility. People will see us, will see my channel. If we have few as subscribers, then a lot of my video will not be seen. But I am so happy with the consistency. We are moving step by step by step. We are 1 month old as a project. This is fantastic. It is so challenging. Don't get me wrong. The whole thing is so challenging. And every day, what you say to me really is, and especially positive things. There are some people who have been very nice to me. And it's almost like they're overlooking all the negatives and they have been very positive. Some of them have been very objective, very balanced, giving some really important to say what can be improved, like the equipment, the lighting, the sound, and because we are using the very basic. I don't have even a microphone except the microphone from the mobile phone. I'm looking at that, and because I actually don't know much about this equipment, I don't know which one is good. I'm talking to people. Going forward, we're going to really see a lot of improvement. I'm very optimistic, and I'm so excited and about social media and about the people who actually make this happen. Because if there were only wild animals, I'll probably be talking to dogs, cats, which would be fantastic. But there are people out there who may or may not benefit, but it doesn't matter. We're humans, it's our world, it is our experience, and that's the experience element is what I invite you to come and join me. Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you. Bye bye.